Thanks to the support as a channel member, Harold Rotmo. It's our first ever home game in the Champions League at our new European home of Stamford Bridge. We're playing Bayern Munich. This could be a mess. Welcome to part 133 of Wembley to Wembley. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that Champions League home game against Bayern Munich, and we also face Derby in the Premier League, which hopefully we'll win. Since you were last with me, we've not played a huge number of games, actually. We have had the now traditional month-long international break where we played against some local rascals. After that, we only drew 2-2 at home against Spurs, thanks to two very, very late goals. Prior to that, though, we also drew against Arsenal 2-2, but did beat Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League, which means going into this game against Bayern Munich, we are one of 5 teams with 100% records. Bayern Munich are also one of the teams. So something's got to give here, boys and girls. This is the team. It's Beswick in goal, a back four, then Gresham, Brewers, Meulemans and Vaughan, Fanimo and Christodoulou in midfield, Renault, Ansong and Paranos behind Mohamed Belkacemi, who will be starting up front for only the second time, third if you count a Bristol Street Rovers trophy game for our under-21s. But he played against Spurs. He's not close to match fit, but did pick up an assist. And hopefully, now he is match fit, he can be really good. That's what we're hoping for. We want him to be really, really good. He's roused. Being roused is always a good thing. Bayern Munich, obviously, quite good. They are still Bayern Munich, although we are 20 years in the future, so you won't recognise any of their players. But they're still Bayern Munich, so we kind of know what to expect from them. They're quite good. But cross everything. All we need is one of those long throws that work so well for us, or the corners that haven't really started working yet, or, I don't know, a chance, and we'll be fine. What we don't need is an own goal from Brewers, who hasn't really endeared himself to the YouTube audience just yet, with the red card that he had the last time he played in a big game in an episode, and now an own goal in this one. He seems to suffer from stage fright. He's actually quite good when you aren't watching, but I think you just intimidate him. Don't look at him like that. Just leave him to do his thing. He doesn't like it when you all look at him. Bayern are quite good, aren't they? They are swarming all over us at the moment. Although, to be fair, they've only had one shot. They missed it, but they did score because of the stupid own goal from stupid Brewers. Paranos sliding in, but getting away with it, and Vaughan plays it back to Beswick, who gives it to Meulemans. Meulemans to Vaughan. This looks like it might be the start of something happening. Who agreed that we could play these kits, by the way? Our red with white sleeves against their white with red sleeves. I can't tell who's got the ball. I'm guessing. I know he's one of ours, and he is trying to get past his marker. I think he's going to do it as well. Can he find the cross? He cuts it back to Renault, who, rather than crossing, shoots from the edge of the area. I get why he's done that, because he's played most of his Wembley career without really having a striker ahead of him. But Belkacemi, he's there now. We've got to give him some service. We've got to give him the opportunity to see if he's the man. If we can find ourselves a 15, 20 goal a season striker, that will be huge for us, because we've got to where we are now without having one. I mean, Carstairs, I think, got 13 last year, so he was almost that, but he was 1,000 years old. Right, we're going to go attack him. Belkacemi has now bruised his thigh. I mean, if he needs to come off for a bruised thigh, I need to have a word with him, because I bruise my thigh getting off the toilet sometimes. That isn't reason to be taken off of a football pitch. Fanimo forward to Renault, and now Ansong, who's drifted out onto the left-hand side, plays it back forward to Renault again, and Belkacemi is in the middle if we can find him. Renault cuts it back to Nguesen. Fanimo, who's pushed forward and joined in with the attack. Christodoulou is in the area, and Charlie Christodoulou has the first home goal for Wembley in Europe ever. Stamford Bridge has gone wild. Stamford Bridge looks smaller than I remember it being as well. In fact, this is the largest home attendance in our history, and I don't even know what it is yet. And they have seen Christodoulou do a football. This is going to be quite interesting. I want to see what our attendance is, because that gives us an idea of what size our new stadium could be. We know it's only going to be 26,000. Excuse me? This is why it doesn't look like Stamford Bridge. We're playing at Dulwich Hamlet, aren't we? We're not supposed to be. Facilities. That's our Champions League ground. No, we are playing at the Gavin Rose Stadium. Are we playing any of these? When we were at Stamford Bridge away in that one, that Anderlecht's going to be at Stamford Bridge. That one's going to be Chelsea playing at home tonight as well. So we've had to go to the Gavin Rose Stadium because that feels like an absurd situation if that's what's happening. No, there's no explanation for why we're not at Stamford Bridge tonight. I guess I'll show you the first one at Stamford Bridge when it happens then. What a strange game Football Manager is at times. Let's drop back to a positive mentality. Let's offer some encouragement. I mean, if we can pull off a 1-1 draw against Bayern Munich, that's an incredible result. But we have some tired little legs. Christodoulou is amongst the tired legs. Cottam comes on for him. Fanamo is going to come off and be replaced by Kibwana. Paranos can be replaced by Williams. And that will do for now. As soon as anyone else gets tired, they'll be hauled off as well. We have been comfortably the better team, similar to what you saw in the game against Valencia. Bayern Munich creating very little against us. They've had one shot on target, and it's not the one they scored. Right, and guessing we don't have another left back, do we? So he has to stay on. We will take off Vaughan. We won't take off Vaughan because Castro's not in the squad either. We'll take off Ansong and we'll take off Renault. There we go. And we'll see if, rather than trying to freshen up the defenders, let's just throw on different attackers and see if we can grab ourselves a win. It's probably more likely that Bayern do it because they're Bayern Munich. Meulemans has been sent off. And I've just taken off the defender that's been playing in midfield all day. So we don't have a guy to drop back. I mean, Kibwana, he is 6'1". He can play right back. Can Vaughan play centre back? No. Can Ngesson play centre back? No. Kibwana is just going to have to drop in there. And we'll do that. No, you go there. There we go. But this is not ideal because we're playing a right back at centre back now. Even though we've been the better team, I think we've self-destructed again. The way we have a little bit of a habit of doing this at the moment. It's naivety. I think it's Football Manager's way of demonstrating naivety. But Ngesson is trying to get forward on this left-hand side. Finds Lambert, who's burst out of midfield, tried to play it into Balkasemi, couldn't find him. It was the right idea, but I think just exhaustion stopped him from pulling it off. And now it is Bayern on the attack. They're going to score here, aren't they? Oh, right. Just hold on now, boys. Just hold on. I mean, we deserved the win, but we'll definitely take the draw. We'll keep an unbeaten European record, especially when we've played Valencia and Bayern Munich. This bodes very well. That'll do. I don't know why we played it here. Let's not worry about it too much. When do we play at Stamford Bridge? Not until Anderlecht. So that'll be the next episode, I guess. I will show you a game at Stamford Bridge eventually. But first, let's play Derby in the Premier League. Watch us lose to them now. Right, just the one change for Derby then. Agume comes in for Meulemans, not because he's suspended. He's suspended in the Champions League. But he's ineligible to play against Derby because that's who he's on loan from. I still don't really understand why they loaned him to us. But they did. Just Football Manager things. Right, let's get the team submitted. And fingers crossed, pick up another win because we're there or thereabouts in the European qualification spots. We're not going to be in a title race this season, or more than likely at any point during the save. But it would be nice to be consistent Champions League qualifiers. That would be a thing, wouldn't it? So in order to do that, we do need to win games against the likes of Derby, although they are the team on the attack currently. We managed to hold Bayern Munich to barely having any shots, but Derby County are a problem. Cross comes in, it's too heavy and should get dealt with here, although it hasn't been, and they are going to continue the attack, but now it does peter out and the highlight ends. But they've already done more creatively, more attacking wise against us than Bayern or Valencia did, which is absolutely bonkers. The Premier League's not overrated in Football Manager. I don't know what you mean, boys and girls. Right, Brewers plays it forward to Ngesson. Ngesson to Ansong. First touch pass through to Balkasemi. Balkasemi, no idea how to say it, but that's his first goal for the club. That's what we brought him in to do. It was a clinical finish as well. And fingers crossed, that is the first of many. If we've got a proper striker now, we are a force to be reckoned with. This is lovely work from Ansong as well. Huge credit to him for that first time pass, perfectly weighted. It was a relatively easy finish, but goodness me, is it nice to have a striker who can do relatively easy finishes, because we haven't had one for quite a long time. And that was very satisfying to see. 1-0 to Wembley. Long may it continue. Let's go grab a couple more. Lay down a little bit of a marker, eh? No. See, that's the opposite of what I asked for. We weren't supposed to concede. Hideous. 1-1. We're going to watch the replay because I'm going to work out who I'm blaming here. So Cross comes... I'm certainly not blaming. I take no responsibility. Cross comes in. It's Vaughan, really, who's not competing in the air. I mean, to be fair, if they've got a big guy coming, they've got a Trequartista coming in off there. I don't expect Vaughan to be able to deal with that. That's fine. They've got this combination of Mezzala, Trequartista, complete forward. It's like playing PvP. An inverted wing back and inverted fullback as well. They stick a Segundo Volante in, and it's one of the Indonesian FIFA E World Cup tactics. It is madness. Okay, we're fine. Let's not worry too much. Let's intercept that kick through Paranos. Has he got anyone in the middle to play the ball to? He took it. I mean, he had to wait to let people get into position. Probably waited too long, and then couldn't find Christodoulos. And then Christodoulou, sorry. He's been here 4 years. I've said his name wrong. Christodoulou. And Derby are now on the attack again, but Brewers intercepts nicely. I don't think he's noticed you lot here. This is good. Brewers plays it forward to Ungessen, and now Renault on the left cuts it back to Fanamo. I like the way he just hangs back. He's a centre back playing as the anchor man, and he just hangs back and allows Christodoulou to charge forward, which he has done now. He's hovering on the edge of the area, and I think Ansong's won a penalty here. That's definitely inside the area. The referee seems to be wandering towards the spot. Why go there if you're not going to point at it? You've gone within pointing range. This is surely a penalty. Of course it is. I have no idea who our penalty taker is these days. It looks like Paranos. And it is Paranos. And he scores 2-1 to Wembley just before half-time. We have reasserted ourselves on the game as we deserve to do. We've been the better team, comfortably the better team. We deserve to go in at half-time in the lead. And now if we could just, make things a little more comfortable, justify the match stats, really. The match stats massively in our favour, and we're not really performing to that level goals-wise yet. I know what I'm trying to... I mean, to be fair, we kind of are. XG's 1.85, we scored 2 goals. It's defensively we shouldn't have conceded, but now it is Derby on the attack again. Bezrek's left a big gap there, which is alarming. They aimed for it, but luckily couldn't find it. He knew what he was doing. He had every confidence they were never going to be able to hit that spot, and they didn't. Balkasemi taking the corner. That's interesting, but he's taken an absolute beauty of a corner, and Fanamo's there at the near post to head it past the keeper. That's what I'm talking about. We want to see more of this. We used to be so good at this, and we just haven't been lately. But we've got so many big boys now. Surely it's... I think what we were missing is someone who can actually deliver a set piece into the right area. If Belkacemi can do that, I don't care how many goals he's going to score. Just the set piece delivery is going to be the difference maker, and he's done it again. Oh, we've got a guy who can find Panamo's head. This is it. This is what we need. I don't care how many goals he scores. If he can take corners like this, he's got a spot in the team for life. That's 2 perfect corners onto Fanamo's head. He's got 2 goals in 6 minutes. He's on a hat-trick now. Somehow that one didn't go down as a Belkacemi assist, which seems a little bit harsh. Derby now trying to do their own thing, and they've been pretty successful at it as well. So we're not any better at defending them than we have been recently, and still the move continues, and that does come. That initially started from the corner, so I think that probably counts as a set-piece goal from Derby. I'm not quite sure how to get recorded, but we never really dealt with it, never really got it properly clear. It's like Man Brewers again. And then, I mean, this is just sloppy. We shouldn't be conceding that. But thankfully, because of the 2 Fanamo goals, it shouldn't really have an impact on the rest of the game. Paranos is going to come off. Williams can come on that right-hand side. We're going to rest Nguessen, and we'll probably do the same with Vaughan, actually. Neither of them got to come off in the Champions League game, so they are pretty tired. I think Martin and Castro are both going to have to play quite a lot of league football because they're not in the Champions League squad. I thought we were getting a third there. And in fact, I think we've won another penalty from the corners. Again, these corners with the Balkacemi delivery look so dangerous. Derby can't cope with them, but it is another penalty. And Fanamo, on his hat-trick, has his hat-trick. Our centre-back, Kieran Fanamo, has a hat-trick in the Premier League. That might be the... I think Carstairs got a hat-trick last year. I don't think that's our first ever Premier League hat-trick, but he's not. I didn't expect him to be the source of all the goals, but he certainly has been today. He's been a huge threat. Now he can go off to a standing ovation. In fact, I think this is an opportunity to have a first look at Simone DeSalvo, our Canadian international, who we haven't given any game time to at all yet. So he's going to get 10 minutes at the end of this game. Christodoulou can come off for Kerslake, who's missed a little bit of football through injury, but is now fit, so he can come on for Christodoulou in that Segundo Volante role. And I'm interested to see how DeSalvo performs. He's a different kind of player to Fanamo, but still is effectively a centre-back playing in that anchor role, which is what we've kind of ended up doing in that position. It's why we don't need as many defensive midfielders. It's why we were able to let Dixon leave, because it's the centre-backs who are sharing the anchorman duty. There is Fanamo, still on the pitch at the moment, probably going to be one of his last touches. Brewers, who's not had a terrible game today, despite you lot watching. It's safe now to let him know that you're here. Christodoulou plays it out to Castro. Castro, who's become a bit of a forgotten man at the club. He had an immediate impact when coming in last season, but when Vaughan arrived, he very much lost his place in the team, has fallen down the pecking order a bit, but still relatively young and with potential to step up and force his way back in. Right. We'll just do this. Renault's picked up a knock. We'll just stick the strikers like that for the final few minutes. And I don't want to mess around with what's going on deeper. So just do that. See the game out. 5-2. What a bonkers football match that's been. But importantly, we've scored 5 goals away from home. We've beaten a team we definitely should be beating. And we are still in 5th place, which is where we finished last year. I speculated second season syndrome might hit. Maybe it won't. Right, in the next episode, we really will play a home game at Stamford Bridge. Maybe. We'll see what happens. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.